Alright, here's a question that's been asked a few times today that I've been asked to do a video on. Homework 4A, questions 4, 5, and 6. Number 4, really, if you have been paying attention to the lecture, if you've been going to class, you should know this. If you haven't, then shame on you. You should be going to class because it is stated and it is mentioned quite often, at least in my class, that the values correlation coefficient takes are -1 to 1. Um, -1 being a negative linear, and then a +1 positive linear. So what that would look like is this would probably be a positive, right? 1, and then opposite way would be -1. Anyway, number 5. If the correlation between two variables is close to 0, you can conclude that a scatter plot would show. This question is pretty confusing because for a strong straight line pattern, I hope that's clear to you that that's definitely not the answer, because if it's a strong straight line pattern, your correlation should not be 0. If this is the case, it should be close to 1 or -1, right? So you've only got these two options to choose from after you eliminate A. You can look at a cloud of points with no visible pattern and say to yourself, well, that's very low correlation. That's got to be close to 0 too. And then C says no straight line pattern, but there might be a strong pattern of another form. Now, letter C talks about this kind of figure, this kind of shape, where there's no straight line pattern, but it could be another pattern of another form. So this right here is parabolic form, right? And then letter B talks about cloud, so sort of like this. Now, if you take the correlation of this figure, what you should know is that this still has a pretty not a very high correlation coefficient, but this is going to be closer to 0 because there's so much more variability between each points than this. They're a cloud and they're kind of scattered, but you're going to have a stronger correlation than this with a lot of variability. So between B and C, your answer should be C, right? So number 6 asks us, the points on a scatter plot lie very close to the line whose equation is y is equal to 2 minus 5x. The correlation between x and y is close to. All right. 2 is our y-intercept, right? And b is our slope, and it's a negative slope, so it's a line that's going downwards, right? Yeah, it's going downwards. Let me just draw that out real quick. So a negative slope means it's going down like this, right? Sorry for the bad writing. Anyway, and it's a -5 slope. So the correlation to x and y. So if points on a scatter plot lie very close to the line, that means that it's got a really strong correlation. So if it's got a really strong negative correlation, that means it's close to -1. If you say -5, you are so wrong, and I'd be pretty disappointed, because that explains the slope, right? This explains just the strength between each point in the scatter plot. So number 6 is -1, not -5, but -1. Okay, hope that's clear. Good luck.